and welcome to another week of Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to this week, including Georgia Southern Eagles as they try to rebound from their loss to LSU. They will be hosting Maine Saturday evening at Paulson Stadium. We also have plenty of questions about the weather this week. Statesboro High is traveling to Liberty County. Liberty County schools have been Liberty County has been evacuated. The schools are not in session, so whether that game will be played or not is still up in the air. Southeast Bullock lost to Screven County this past week. They're hoping to rebound as they host Tattnall County. Bullock Academy coming off a win against Edmund Burke. They're off this week, and Portal in action this week as well. We've got all that. Area softball, a couple of teams in action this past week. We'll have some highlights of that game for you. All that and the latest as far as the updates on weather from Georgia Southern Athletic Director Tom Kleinlein regarding the Georgia Southern Maine game. All that and more coming up in just a moment.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles are coming off a tough loss to LSU as they get set to try to rebound against Maine. Georgia Southern school's been canceled for a few days this week. Still no word as to what the rest of the week holds in store. Of course, putting this on Tuesday, that was what the case was. We had a chance to hear from Georgia Southern Athletic Director Tom Kleinlein about the latest in the weather situation.
I can just tell you from a university standpoint, we're monitoring the situation very carefully and very concerned about obviously our state Savannah campus and what's going on the Savannah campus. And I think our president and our leadership has done a great job of getting all that organized. As we move forward through the week, obviously we have to continue to watch the weather, but our intentions and our plans as we move forward are to continue to host a football game here on Saturday at 6 p.m. against Maine University. So we will continue to watch that. We will continue to monitor that. Unfortunately, we've become kind of familiar with hurricane plans and processes and how they affect football games over the last couple of years. So we're doing a very good job of that. Our staff's doing a very good job of that, but we will monitor the situation and plan on moving forward as we see fit. Talked to their AD. I started talking with him as early as Saturday morning. I've alerted them that Augusta is probably an alternative route for them, and they've already reached out and looked into that. And I think I've had when I had some conversations with their AD this morning, he had expressed that they've reached out to their carrier, and their carrier may fly into Augusta if Savannah's not an option. So I think we're kind of handling that from all aspects. I think anytime we deal with bringing mass numbers of people to our campus, it always talks about when safety becomes an issue, right? So when we start looking at emergency services, when we start looking at not being able to have a safe environment for our fans and for our students, then that's when we have to make a decision like that. Right now, we feel like we're going to still be able to do the things that we need to do to provide a safe environment on our campus, so we'll proceed forward. But if that changes, the weather changes, if Georgia emergency medical people inform me that we may have to change that, then we'll make that decision at that point.
As for the game, Georgia Southern and Maine getting set for a 6 o'clock kickoff at Paulson Stadium. The Eagles hoping to bounce back from the LSU game. We had a chance to talk with head coach Chad Lunsford and some of the players about the matchup.
I want to thank Eagle Nation for coming out to LSU. That was a great crowd that came to watch us play, and Unfortunately, it didn't go how we wanted it to go, but always appreciate that support and looking forward to them being in Paulson this week. And, obviously last week didn't go as planned as far as the way we played against LSU. LSU is a really good football team. I think that will show the rest of this season. There's some things that we've got to clean up, but ultimately that starts with me. And, we'll make sure that we get better from that game. Going into this game, the Maine Black Bears, man, they're a good football team. Obviously a really good season last year, being semifinalists in the FCS playoffs. And just watching them on their film from last week, obviously a lot of returning starters on both sides of the ball, and definitely have our work cut out for us, and we got to be on point. Right now, I think, far as the whole team, we're in pretty good shape. A couple guys that I do need to address and talk about. Justin Ellis did suffer a knee injury in the game against LSU and is going to be out the rest of the season. Don't really have all the details on that yet, but he will be out. Schauwerts took a big hit in that game, and we x-rayed him during the game. He was cleared to come back in the second half. We just felt like it was best for us not to. It was a good opportunity to get Justin Tomlin some snaps in the second half, and very proud of him. I thought he did a really good job to be put in that situation, and that was valuable for him. But as far as Shy goes right now, it's day-to-day. We're just looking at him and just making sure that he'll be ready to play this week. Well, because Shy's day-to-day, obviously we got to keep monitoring it. We did not let him practice. He could have practiced yesterday, but we didn't let him. We just wanted to give him another day off. Again, Justin gets just about as many reps as Shy gets in practice. The difference would be if he's getting it with the first team O or the second team O. But we'll monitor that, and I've got a lot of trust in Justin Tomlin. For him to only have one snap last year in 2018 and then be able to come in and function in the second half against LSU and really manage and, took care of the football. Again, we were not productive as a whole on offense, so you can't just point fingers at people, but I was very impressed with how he handled the situation and how he came in and led the offense, but I have a lot of confidence in him, and if he ends up being the guy that plays this week, I think he can lead us to victory. Unfortunately, LSU threw the first punch, and we never threw one back. But again, like I said, that starts with me. I just got to make sure that we're a little bit better when it comes to those type of things. But like I've said, that game does not define us, and it's not going to define our season. It's all about how you handle things and how you move on. Our guys were in a great frame of mind yesterday in the team meeting and at practice, and they want it, and they have a chip on their shoulder. And I do think you'll see a better football team this week. I think Eagle Nation will be excited about being our first home game, and I'm sure they'll be here. I know weather can deter that, and if it causes that, I get it. Everybody wants to be able to enjoy a football game, and everybody wants to be safe and that type of stuff. So again, we'll be excited to have a lot of people in the stands. If the weather causes that not to happen, our guys will go out and play just as hard as if they were there. And so, but we appreciate any support with anybody that does show up for the game.
Ready. We heard how loud it was LSU when we were on the field. We can't wait to come home to Paulson and give other teams problems like they tried to give us. But yeah, we're ready to come home and play in front of our fans. It's nothing like playing in Paulson. You see that they're pretty good. They're fast. They go after the ball, and they're talented just like us. They're gonna play hard. We're gonna play hard. It's gonna be a good game. Yeah, I feel like we always have something to prove. Just because we didn't get a trip to the end zone last week doesn't mean we play different. I feel like we're still going to play the same. We're going to play hard like we were trained and coached to be. So I feel like we're definitely going to get in the end zone this week. But, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it hurts. Without a doubt, it hurts. But LSU had a pretty great offense. It's not much you can do about it. But, we were pretty upset that we gave up that many points. And we're just going to come out this upcoming week. We know our identity. We know what we're capable of. We're not going to let that past game define us. So we're just going to go out and do what we do best. I feel like we're just moving on well as a defense and as a team just in general. We've had some rough losses, on the road against some good P5 schools. So, it doesn't really make a difference for us. We're just going to come out and just do as best we can this week because, like Coach said, we just forget about, last week. We forget. But we definitely learn from the past as well. I feel like the morale is really high for the team. we know that it was a tough game that we played on Saturday. We knew that coming in. And, we did, I feel like we could have done better as a team, but it doesn't always work out that way. But, I mean, it's a new week. Everybody came into practice yesterday. And it's just like, week after camp, we're all excited to come back and get ready to prepare for Maine this Saturday.
And stay with us, high school action and interviews coming up next.
My Queensboro banker is Cheryl Quick.
Blanchard Equipment Company has 16 locations.
Queensboro has homegrown values just like us.
They get heavily involved in every community.
And that means strong customer service.
They've been around a long time, just like John Deere.
When you run across the bank like that, you stick with them.
I sure would like to own one of these John Deeres.
Well, we can sure make that happen.
Oh, well.
Queensboro is your community bank. Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils are coming off a big 31-0 victory against Greenbrier this past week. Friday, they're scheduled to be taking on Liberty County, weather permitting. We had a chance to talk with Coach and some of the players about the matchup. And joining me now, the head coach of the Statesboro Blue Devils, Jeff Kaiser, coming off a big win, 31-0. Looked pretty good from us in the stands and on the sidelines. I know you weren't pleased overall by the performance, but 31-0 looks pretty good.
Yeah, there were areas that we were real proud of. There were areas that we still really stunk at that we've got to get better at in order to compete in our region and throughout the rest of the schedule. Was really proud of our defense, shutting them out. And after we went back and redid the stats and considered the penalties, we only gave up 117 yards, total yards of offense, and 32 yards rushing. So it was a good performance by our defense. A little disappointed in the third quarter. We got a little tired, which was uncommon. That caught us off guard because we have conditioned extra this year. And had a few issues with a cramp or two, but offensively, we were able to run the ball. We're very, very disappointed in our throwing game. It was embarrassing. But to our kids' credits, those guys that are involved in that aspect of the game came out today and had probably the best practice they've ever had. Really got after it and had some guys that struggled Friday step up in a leadership role today at practice. So special teams was very good, with the exception of our kickoff. We do it well in practice. We're just inconsistent in the game. Obviously we had the big kickoff return to open the second half, which was a big boost for our team in the second half.
All right, well, you're going from a style of play that Greenbrier does to playing Liberty County on the road in Hinesville. You know that they're typically a lot more athletic than the team you saw last week, a lot of speed usually. Your thoughts on playing Liberty?
Liberty's year in, year out. Between Liberty and Burke, those would be the two fastest teams we see. Liberty's fast all over the field. They're not overly big defensively, but they can fly to the football really fast, and folks don't understand how fast I'm talking about until you see them. We prepare the same way. Offensively, they threw us a little curveball. We're not sure what they're going to do. They have typically been a spread team, but came out in a wing tee against Bradwell and hung 42 points on them. So we kind of got to prepare for a two-headed monster in that regard. And but our kids do a good job of responding. So we'll prepare like we always do and throw everything we got at them.
All right, game's going on in Hinesville, 7:30 kickoff there. Go out and support the Blue Devils. Coming up next, we'll hear from a couple of the Statesboro players. And joining me now, a couple of the Statesboro High players. We have Corian Reese representing the defense, plays linebacker, and Taylor Moon playing on the offensive line for the Blue Devils. You guys are coming off a big 31-0 victory this past week against Greenbrier. Your thoughts on how you feel like you guys played, particularly on defense?
Well, on D, we played hard. We came out in the game. We wanted to set a tone, and the way that we agreed coming out was, if we hit them first, it's gonna be hard for them to bounce back. So Coach Scott just told us just to go out there and make sure that we hit them, and when we do hit them, we make sure we really give it to them. So we end up getting a shutout.
Well, it was nice to see, and when the defense is doing their job and giving you guys opportunities, you finally were able to take advantage of some of that. How do you feel like the offense did, Taylor?
I feel like we practiced pretty good all week. We didn't do as good as we wanted to against Swainsboro, and then we worked on our craft for the next 2 weeks, and we put it all out on the field against Greenbrier.
So this week you guys get back to action. You got to go on the road this time, going to Liberty. You beat them here last year. Your thoughts on playing Liberty?
They're a fast team, and our approach for them is that we have to make sure that when we're tackling, we have to make sure that we wrap up and drive through them, because they are capable of breaking loose, and if they're gone, they're gone. So we just got to make sure that we're hustling on defense and make sure that we're getting them out and getting off the field quick. That's pretty much it.
All right, Taylor, offensively, what do you feel like you guys need to do? What do you feel like you need to improve on for this next game?
I think we just need to get off the ball quicker and get there faster, because we have the strength to do it. We just probably don't have as much speed as them, but we can do it. We just got to get better at perimeter blocking and get off the ball faster on the offensive line.
All right, Statesboro High at Liberty coming up Friday night in Hinesville. Hope you go out there and support the Blue Devils.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
This portion of the Southeast Bullet Coaches Show is brought to you by Crazy Nick's Inflatables. We'd love to be a part of your birthday parties, church and Sunday school functions, school event, community event, company events, or just entertainment for a small family gathering. Whatever your event, they can provide the fun. Serving Bullock, Effingham, Bryan, and surrounding counties, delivery, setup, and breakdown are all included in the pricing. For more information, call 912-690-5972 or visit them online at crazynicksinflatables.com. Well, the Southeast Bullet Yellow Jackets are coming off a tough loss on the road at Scraven County, hoping to rebound as they host Tattnall County. They beat them last year. We had a chance to talk with head coach Barrett Davis and some of the players about the matchup. All right, join me now, the head coach of the Southeast Bullet Yellow Jackets, Barrett Davis. And Coach, I know you guys are coming off a tough loss there to Scraven County. You know, your thoughts first off on the game.
Well, I mean, Scraven came out. It seemed like they were well coached. We kind of played into a good physical game with them, I thought. We kind of played into their hand a little bit. They're very tough against the run, and you know we're a team. We got to be able to run the football to open up passing game, and vice versa. But they kind of controlled the front lines all night in the trenches, and they gave us a little bit of trouble. But proud of our kids. They battled back. We had a chance to get the football back at the end, and chance to try and get an onside kick to get back in the game and win it. But our kids fought hard for 4 quarters. We just got to improve.
I know you guys were pretty banged up in that game. How do you feel like you guys go into this week with Tattnall County, and what do you feel like the mood of the team is?
Well, man, we got a big bang up that we had was that first drive that we had offensively. Our left tackle, Rashad Hobbs, kind of went down, and he's also our nose guard. And you lose a 315-pound kid, that kind of changes up how you kind of do things offensively and defensively, at least on the physical standpoint of things. But we're trying to recover, get more guys, get more depth, and just try and get ourselves in a good position for Friday. So.
All right, well, you've got Tattnall County coming up. You saw them last year. You went to their place and pulled off the victory. What do you know about them? What do you expect Friday?
They're going to be well coached. They're going to be well disciplined. They've got kids that get after the football. We've watched them on film, and they're very aggressive. You can tell that they know what they're doing. So it's going to come down to a team that can make the less amount of mistakes, win the turnover battle, and just come down to execution. So our guys have got to learn to do that for 4 quarters. That's something we have not done yet, at least in our first game. So hoping we can do that. And we're trying to just have a big physical week of practice, and hoping the weather will allow us to do that. So.
Yeah, that's something else that you have to deal with this week, unfortunately. But as far as the game goes, I know you were a little disappointed in how the offense played overall. Do you feel like there's things you can do to tweak that, or you feel like there's something that, these are correctable things.
They are. I think we've got things that are easy fixes. We just got to, it comes down to being more physical and technique and taking things serious at practice. That's things that we have to improve on, and being more physical at practice, and being more energetic as coaches and little things like that. But those things are things we can fix, and those things we are going to fix. So.
All right, well, stay with us. Up next, we'll hear from a couple of the Yellow Jacket players. The Southeast Bullet Coaches Show segment is brought to you in part thanks to Southeast Tire and Service. Southeast Tire and Service has been in business for 13 years, offering extensive vehicle repair and service from bumper to bumper. Come have a cup of coffee with us and let us help you with your car needs. Located at 400 Parker Avenue in Brooklyn. And join me now, a couple of the Yellow Jacket players. We've got Ethan Shannon and Trey Story. They both are playing offense and defense. Ethan, first off, I know that was tough to go to Screven and start the season with a loss. How's the team responding right now?
We're just trying to get redemption, and we're yearning for a win to go into the region. So, just going 1-0 this week and leaving that in the past.
All right, well, Trey, your thoughts, how's the team responding to that loss to Screven? I know it was tough because you guys are always going in there planning to win the game.
Yes, sir. We just came out and had a very physical practice. I know one of the most physical of the year, but I think we're going to come back and look pretty strong this week.
All right, any positives you feel like coming out of that Screven game? I know you guys had a couple of pick sixes.
It just shows us where we're at and what we need to improve on, and I think it was a tough loss, but we needed it to learn from it.
All right, well, you got Tattnall County coming up this week. Your thoughts on playing them? I know you guys were able to beat them at their place last year.
Yes, sir. They're a very disciplined team, very well coached, and we just look forward to the game.
All right, your thoughts? You've seen some of Tattnall. Do you expect anything out of them?
I just expect us to go out and perform and do what we got to do to get the win. So.
All right, Yellow Jackets hosting Tattnall County 7:30 at Fred Shaver Field. Hope you'll come out, support the Yellow Jackets. That game scheduled for a 7:30 kickoff at Fred Shaver Field. Stay with us. More to come on upon further review. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy, in-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests, and ultrasounds, and in-house labs. Featuring nurse practitioner Melissa Beasley, Family Internal Medicine of Statesboro can accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care. One other bit of football news, the Bullock Academy Gators off this Friday, and the Portal Panthers will be hosting Jenkins County. That game scheduled for a 7:30 kickoff at the Portal Athletic Complex. Moving on now, we had some area softball action from this past week. Southeast Bullock was hosting Effingham County, and the Bullock Academy Gators on the road at Pinewood. Let's send you out for some of the highlights. Southeast Bullock hosting Effingham. The Jackets start the scoring as Delaney Thames at the plate. She drives a single into left, scoring Gracie Bergen from third, and it's 1-0. The Rebels come back, tied at 2. Addie Reynolds sends this one up and away to left. The solo blast gave Effingham a 3-2 lead. Later, it's Shelby Aiken. She comes through with the RBI single into right for a 4-2 lead. But the Jackets come back. Megan Lee with the RBI single into center. Thames called out at home, but one run scores to make it 3-2. Then Olivia Horton with the RBI single to right. Unfortunately, Effingham comes back to win this one, 11-7. Games going on this week includes Bullock Academy traveling to Trinity for a region matchup. You've got the Statesboro Blue Devils in action Wednesday afternoon, 6 o'clock start there at Mill Creek as they host Effingham County. Of course, a lot of this is weather pending. That'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.